I think there is no easier way, not no better way, no easier way to get our personal growth than through playing our way there to
That's
some
right.
degree.
That is right. And that's how I became an author.
Really?
I meditated my way into it.
Welcome to the Goodbye Good Girl Project podcast. The Goodbye Good Girl Project is an amazing space for women who are done with the social programming and help them come into their empowerment, whether it's self-image, self-expression, or spiritual self-definition. My name is Lori Kirstein, and I have the amazing, the wonderful, the one and only Francine Juhlin with me today. So, Francine, I want to introduce you, but I first want to say hi. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. So, she's not what you would expect. And I love that. That's what we want to present here on this podcast is women who really defy definition, and women who know who they are. And Francine certainly does. She spent quite a long time, and we'll ask her all about this, as a military aircraft electrician. And now, as a result, I've just learned of some fancy meditation that she put into place. I don't know if it was fancy, but she became Princess Francy, the children's book author. And she is doing incredible work helping adults, helping parents become such good guides for their children that their children will be strong and confident so that we don't have to heal broken adults later. And this is an incredible thing. I don't think I've heard of this before. I love this approach, Francine. Tell us how you got there. What happened? How'd you go from aircraft to where you are now? It's Princess Francy.
Well, I love the title of this podcast. It's breaking those social norms because those social norms and negative childhood programming is what breaks us, usually between the age of 7 and 8. And everybody loses their inner child somewhere in childhood because of this program. Mine happened when my aunts told me, "You'd be such a pretty girl if you just lost some weight."
Oh,
Yes. And
I
from that point on, 7, 8 years old, I started this long path of disordered eating, being self-conscious of my body, not being confident. And you would think I was a confident person to join the Navy. I wasn't. I was looking for my confidence in the military. And trust me, I really never found it. I just figured out how to hide the fact that I didn't have it.
Isn't that something that we've learned to do? I think that we're taught to put on that mask, that behavioral mask to hold back everything.
That's right. That's right. And especially being a woman in the early 80s in a man's world, I was always the only woman. I had to learn how to be one of the guys in the biggest boys club in the world. I'm not complaining though, because without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I enjoyed so many aspects of living in this boys' world, and it
Yeah.
helps me cross that cultural line now.
Oh, tell me more about that because there is the divine masculine and there's the toxic masculine. And it sounds like you found a way to get a lot of the divine.
I had to weed my way through the toxic to
I
the
know it's always
and to the point where if you put up with something long enough, it becomes your norm. Just like instead of telling my aunts, well, I'm pretty, even though I might have a couple extra pounds, my norm became, well, I'm not pretty because I'm fat. So that is what I teach parents. Be careful what you say. Like my friend who's also been on my podcast, her mom bullied her about having acne. So when she was 60 years old, she couldn't believe anybody could love her.
60, 60?
60, 60. I was almost 55 before I went through my journey. What
Right.
you say to your child when they are 6, 7 years old will stick with them. And that is why the self-help industry is so huge today. I don't want to knock myself since I write self-help books, but that's how I started writing these children's books. Wouldn't it be great if in the future we don't need the self-help industry because kids grow
Right.
up with the tools they need to be strong and confident, and instead of having to fix the broken adults later, they're just strong, happy, and confident, raising the next generation of strong, happy, confident people.
So is there a difference in your books between how they should raise or what is shown about boys versus girls?
No, that
Mhm.
is a trigger for me when children are treated differently.
Mm.
Even in the military, when I was covered in grease, hanging upside down, fixing airplanes, and then I would go out in the evening to the enlisted club. Well, that isn't ladylike. I just stood next to you fixing that aircraft covered in grease, and now you're going to tell me I'm not ladylike? With the cross messages. So
Right.
we want our girls to engage in science. We want our girls to be strong and confident, but then we tell them that's not ladylike.
Now we can't control what goes on in the outer world, right? So um the two things we can control is what we say to our kids, it sounds like you're saying, and also what we say to ourselves. Do you address the what we say to ourselves part?
Yes, we do. Whenever we talk about tips for parents, I always get feedback that says, wow, I never thought about that for myself. And my first book, The Magic Library, you would think it's about reading, but it isn't. It's about your brain before meditation. This is the Magic Library. And in the book, Sparkle Feathers is this kooky character I met during meditation. And Sparkle Feathers leads Princess Francy, my inner child, on this journey of self-discovery. She goes through the magic hall of mirrors, which is self-reflection, into her messy bedroom that her mom always told her to clean. And that messy bedroom is her brain before meditation. And then
Wow.
Sparkle Feathers helps her clean it up. Well, I have had several parents tell me after reading this book to their kids, this introduction to meditation for children, they're saying, you know what? I started meditating too.
Oh, wow. Changing an entire family.
Yes, yes.
How did you become an author? How did you go into that?
I was writing a dissertation on organizational change.
What?
Yes, I was in my doctoral studies. I was writing my dissertation on organizational change. And the captain who was going to allow me to do my research in our facility retired. The new captain wouldn't let me do my research. So I had my first failed class ever in college because I decided not to start over and
Right.
take out more student loans. So I had 168 pages of research about organizational corporate change. I was getting ready to retire. I was having this identity crisis. I'm an aircraft electrician for the military. What else can I be? And I was also 100 pounds overweight, very unhealthy with a failing liver. So
Whoa.
I took all this knowledge I got about helping organizations and industry change, and I applied it to personal change. And I discovered the 6-step process of personal change. Well, I wanted to write this into a book. And this book was just one step away from a dissertation. It was very academic. It was very boring. And then I was connected with my inner child. And this flood of creativity came to me. And with that, I turned the original book about the 6 step process of personal change into a fairy tale.
Oh,
And I started reaching people from ages 8 to 80 who started meditating, who started doing this beautiful self-reflection, who started discovering their self-worth, their self-happiness, their self-joy.
oh my gosh.
And then because I am a storyteller, I use all the funny voices and the physical comedy. I started getting the feedback, you need to do this for kids.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Uh, my God, have you done any like acting? Have you brought this to the stage yet?
Small stages, I'm a Toastmaster and I did some physical comedy humor in a contest and I came in third place and everybody loves it. And now when I do my keynotes, I fall into character of Princess Francy and do the voice of Sparkle Feathers. And when I read to children, I get down on the floor when the butterfly tells Francie to play like a dog. I get down and we all crawl around the ground and we wag our tails like dogs.
Oh, this is magic. It's so enchanting. Um, the parents must feel like they've been transported back to being 6 years old.
The grandparents too,
Wow.
and
So
the
how many
grandparents.
and the well, I don't have kids, so I can't be a grandparent, but I could see myself down on the floor, even when I'm 90, going, yeah, let's play.
Well, I don't have kids either. That's why I love playing with kids now.
Right. Oh my gosh, I know. So much, it's so much joy to play with kids. It's just such a wide-eyed experience. So great. How many books have you done?
You're breaking up. There we
Oh, I'm
go.
sorry.
Got you
How
now.
many? Okay, cool. How many books have you written?
I'm working on the second book in the series of Sparkle Feathers and Princess Francie. The first book came out in September, so it's brand new.
My gosh. Um, did you go through the whole publishing thing, getting an editor and all of that?
I hired a publisher because I didn't want to deal with all of that myself.
Well done.
One thing I have learned through my growth process is I'm a creative. I am
Yeah,
not a technical person. So instead of pulling my hair out with all of the technical stuff, I decided I wanted to stay in the creative flow. And I hired the expert to help me with that.
I think that's brilliant. Um, I'm interested in how you made that personal growth shift, what you had to go through. Now, you've mentioned meditation, but what you had to embrace, what you might have had to let go of to go into your new life. Would you care to share anything about that?
Yes. I had to let go of all of my comfort habits, all of the things that I used throughout life to make me comfortable. And that went back to what my aunts told me. If you just lost some weight, you'd be a pretty girl. So I thought my whole life, if I could just lose 20 pounds, I would be happy.
Right.
So I go on all these crazy diets. Oh, back in the 80s, I remember Dexatrim and Diet Coke.
Oh, that
Yeah,
combination? Oh my God.
Dexatrim and Diet Coke. That was breakfast and lunch. So, I mean, when I say crazy diets, and I'm not even going to name any others because I know there might be some trademark infringements, but if there was a diet on the market, I was on it. My mom even went on them with me, even when she didn't need to. She weighed 100 pounds, but she was going to be supportive of me. So she went on these diets with me because she
Oh,
thought negative
Bless her.
childhood programming. She thought she was helping me to lose this weight,
Instead of it coming across as,
getting healthy. So that was the first thing I had to let go of, the eating response.
mhm.
I get home from work and I limped. I could hardly walk. I had the bad back, the allergies, the asthma, the you name it. I was really ill. And then I broke out in a full body rash. But what I did when I felt uncomfortable, I drank wine and I ate crap. And it wasn't, the Girl Scout cookies. It wasn't just a couple cookies. It was the whole sleeve of cookies. It wasn't just a glass of wine. It was a bottle or two because, well, I still don't feel, I'm still not happy. Let's have another.
Right. That's how it works.
I had to let that go. I had to learn how to eat to sustain life, not to comfort myself.
Wow. So was this the root cause? Was it that you found?
Yes, that was the the symptom was I wasn't happy. The symptom was I had a rash. The symptom was the identity crisis. The root cause was a lack of self-esteem.
I don't, do you think there's any woman in this culture who can possibly have really good self-esteem? If
Not growing up the way we did.
no,
Well, and then, you hear the term daddy issues
yeah,
when daddy didn't pay child support. That was telling me I wasn't worthy.
wow, wow.
So that was a root cause of my limiting beliefs about money. So what the 6-step process of personal change taught me is I had to meditate. I had to calm the thoughts, calm myself.
Yeah.
And then I had to do the self reflection, which is very, very uncomfortable and can be painful. But I had to do it to get down to the root cause. Otherwise, you're putting a band aid on a gaping bullet hole.
Do you see a lot of parents doing that?
Oh, yes. Oh, well, parent, I say every human does it. Every human does it because all you want to do is feel better. So when you're sick, instead of eating what will really make you feel better, like medicinal food and drinks, you want the mashed potatoes or I did. I wanted the mashed potatoes and the macaroni and cheese and the lasagna and all this other stuff full of chemicals, full of preservatives. And I found out that's really what I was allergic to was the chemicals, the preservatives, and pesticides. Well, when sometimes when bad things happen, it's a good thing. If I never broke out into that full body rash, I would have kept looking for the magic pill to make me happy, the magic pill to make me feel better. And the
Right.
more medicine I took, the more chemicals, the more preservatives, and the more pesticides I was taken into my body.
Is this part of your books as well? I admit I have not read
Yes.
your first book, but being healthy in mind, body, and spirit, it sounds like the whole thing is there.
It is. It is absolutely holistic health. And
Fantastic.
a lot of people think holistic health is going to the health food store and buying all this packaged health stuff. Holistic health is getting back to nature before there were factories to make all this other stuff.
What do you find is the most effective or moving way to get parents and grandparents to to really understand the way to get through to their kids and grandkids.
You could check out this most recent episode of Parents Talk. It's on YouTube right now. Bruce Barnes and I talked about the 5 love languages for children. And that is getting to know your children. In my newsletter, the first activity I offer for the kids is to design your own superhero.
Oh, yeah.
So they go in there, what is it going to wear? What kind of superpower does it have? And I have parents telling me that this is helping them connect with their children in a way they never thought. They're finding some of their kids' insecurities by how they design the superhero. They're understanding that their kids want more hugs because of the way they design their superheroes. So get the newsletter because it is a great way to get that first activity and learn more about the Confidence Club for Kids, which is an interactive membership program in my website where parents and children can do all these fun activities, interact with other families and other kids, and find out that we're really not that different. That when you feel you're different, there's other kids feeling the same way. And that in itself is empowering.
This is deeply meaningful to me. I love how it gets absolutely beyond the mind chatter and into the emotional intimacy.
Oh, you will appreciate this because we connected over our kooky glasses, right?
Yes.
Well, Princess Francy goes to an eye care center and picks out her new glasses. And I use that in my networking for children. We watch this little 2-minute video about getting glasses and how cool glasses are because
Yay.
how many kids have lost glasses?
Oh,
Everyone,
yeah,
right? I know I was in
absolutely.
4th grade, I lost my first pair because I did not feel comfortable wearing them because I thought I'm fat, I'm shy, I'm quiet. The last thing I need to be is 4 eyes too.
Right.
But when these kids come together and we celebrate our differences, they see that it's really a beautiful thing and that what makes him different, what makes her different, what makes them different might not really be different.
This sounds like you could do the same work with adults.
I do.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I moved from the holistic health industry and I went into the public speaking. So I teach confidence for adults in the public speaking world.
Awesome. What kinds of events or places are you speaking? Can people catch you online as well as on stage?
Yes, right now I have my podcast. And well, yesterday I went to Potapalooza and I was on 4 podcasts. They'll be all coming out soon. I'm on podcasts all the time. The best way to catch me online is to follow me on Facebook, Francine Juhlin, because I always put everything up on Facebook as soon as the host send it to me. And then I also let you know when I drop a new episode of Parents Talk.
I have a feeling you're going to be getting a lot of new followers. This is just such magical stuff, Nancy.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, I mean Princess Francie. Sorry.
thank you. And then you can also sign up for the newsletter and find out what big stages. For instance, March 8th, I'll be in Tampa doing a big author speaker event. And
Wow.
I'm actually going to be doing one of these interactive Princess Francie crawl on the ground with the kids playtimes.
If I dress up like an 8-year-old, can I show?
Oh, you can, you can. Everybody is welcome. We're going to have sound bowl healing. We're going to have money management for women. A breast cancer survivor is going to be talking about her journey. It's just going to be an amazing, amazing day on March 8th.
Congratulations. And wow,
Thank you.
you are going to give us like all of this information that I can then put into the
Yeah,
video, right?
I
Okay,
will. Or you could sign up for my newsletter and find it, be the first to know whenever these new events pop up.
perfect. Now, a little birdie named Princess Francy told me that there's a class coming up.
Well, this is an evergreen video course in my website, and it's to help you connect with your inner child just like I did. I found Princess Francy when I was in my 50s. So if you're in your
Yeah.
50s, it's the perfect time to do it. If you are younger, do it now and don't wait for that healing journey when you get older.
Wow. Well, I'm going to ask you a question on my own behalf. So in my healing journey, I have been coming more into the feminine because I, like all of us, learned to be like the boys. We learned to not want to be so emotional, not to reveal that we had these deep feelings or this in these intuitive hits, and we weren't supposed to be so caring. We were just supposed to be tough. So I find that there's been a big arc, a big growth arc in getting from the masculine only mind to letting in the feminine, and that the shift is sometimes I have a lot of pushback. So for somebody who has a lot of pushback, what would you say? How can I get to more of my inner child to just let her talk more? She's talking, but I need her to blossom even more.
Meditate, and then from the meditation, let the creativity flow.
Particular kind of meditation? What do you do for your meditation?
My favorite is just barefoot gardening, just getting out in nature, digging in the dirt. And I also love guided meditations. When I was told, when I was unhealthy and I was going through my identity crisis trying to start a business, I had a business coach and my holistic health coach both told me to meditate.
Mhm.
I serious pushback there. I'm like, I can't meditate, right?
Yeah.
And then they both told me, get up from your desk, stop working through lunch, and just go for a walk. And that is completely what changed my life. So if you are on that little hamster wheel, spinning your wheel around, trying to make things happen, slow down, and that will help you speed up. And it's real easy. It doesn't cost anything. I started doing it on YouTube, just looking up guided meditations.
Thank
And you
you.
can check out my YouTube channel. I have some guided meditations up there.
There we go. Wow, cool. Yeah, I've guided meditations myself, but I'm looking forward to being guided by you. I and also you've opened my mind around something. Meditation, when I hear it, I think I have to sit down and close my eyes and that whole thing, which sometimes is a nice thing for me to do.
Yeah,
Other times, not so much. But when I get into drawing, I go into that zone, and I think that's what you're talking about. Am I right?
it's different for everybody. What my first connection with my inner child, I
Yeah.
wanted to make a crown for Princess Francy. So I went
Oh,
and I got my old wire cutters from when I was an electrician, and I got a bunch of flowers like this from the dollar store, and I just played and I made a crown. And to me, that was meditation. I still have the videos of me doing that. And every now and then I'll go back and watch them again and see how much I've really grown.
you and I were talking briefly before we started about the importance of play. in personal development. And I give acting up workshops where people learn to just pretend and to let themselves be more than they thought they were. And you bring this incredible inner child, external child work to the fore. I cannot wait to to just learn more and more and more about you, and I'm thrilled. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you wish I had, or anything else that you want to share about all of this beauty?
I just can't wait for the day that my self-help books are not needed.
Mm. What will that day look like? Can I ask you that? Do you have a vision of
Yes,
how people will be?
honestly, I almost think we'll go back to times before the rat race started, when communities came together because they enjoyed each other's company, because they felt happy and comfortable together. The what one thing that really bothers me is the holiday season. Oh my God, I haven't finished my shopping. Oh my God, Christmas is gonna be ruined. And it's all about the, I want to say monetization. It's all about the materialistic. It's all about the what other people see instead of how it feels. When the whole world is to the point where they don't need self-help, we're going to think about how things feel more than how they appear.
Well, I can't think of a better mic drop than that. That's I agree completely. So, Francine, thank you a million for coming and talking to me. This is extraordinary, and I can't wait to get this out so people can, excuse me, so people can just lose their minds and
Thank you.
show up on your YouTube channel and everywhere else. And
Awesome. Thank you so much.
awesome stuff. Thank you, and I'll have you back another time when your second book comes out, and you can tell us about the new characters you're probably going to introduce.
They're going to be fun.
Okay. It will be awesome. All right. Well, we'll leave it here, guys. Thank you for coming and sharing the time with me and Princess Francy. You won't meet another Princess Francy, but this is the unique, the only one. All right. Bye for now.